write tracks for Steve Swift reviews. He punched me twice in the face and asked for a duel. The pugilistic prophet with newbies diagnostics, like Scroobius Pip but less toxic. The UK comic shooting stars never lost it. It's 2025 and the internet still dies. Guys are chasing algorithms like a crack pipe high.
Yes, indeed. This is the Bees of Boxing. I am Chris. That guy over there. That guy's Steve Swift. Just like it says, the Bees of Boxing with Steve Swift. And I'm going to get right down to this. We're going to get the niceties out of the way. You look fantastic, Steve. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. You look a lot better than some of the guys that took an ass kicking and couldn't even make it to the full extent of their fight this past weekend. But let's get into first things first. Steve, how are you doing today, buddy?
Splendid, as usual. Thank you very much. Tickety sodding boo, and lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have some questions for you, though, because that's what we do here on the Bees of Boxing. I ask questions. You feed us full of your knowledge, and it's fantastic. Some of the questions that we're going to go through today, though, might be a little bit different. My first one for you is this, Steve. Is Conor Benn nothing more than the boxer of the hour? Is he really worth the $15 million? Because we've seen that the opponent he's going to have is Regis Prograis. Why do you think that is?
Well, I also saw a graphic, because you know that Conor Benn wants Ryan Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some may say, including me on a podcast, if he'd have just stayed where he was with Matchroom, or rather, there might not be a contract, but if he stood shoulder to shoulder with Eddie, he'd already been installed as the number one contender for the WBC, so he would actually have had that fight. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult because you've got Mauricio Sullivan to work with, so he's not going to get that fight. And also, he called Ryan Garcia out and said, come over here to America where the titles are. I think Ryan's already there, actually, Conor. I mean, I don't think he's in Barrow Furnace in the UK. I think he's there. So recently, in fact, yesterday, Ring Magazine did a he's number 4 in their welterweight title rankings, I think, and they put up a graphic of who's next for Ryan Garcia. 3 people, 3 boxers, one of which was Shakur Stevenson, and one of which was Devin Haney, I think. But Conor Benn's not there. So the 15 million is, and he's been very clear about, you need to safeguard your children's future. And I understand that. It's a hurt business. But by going to Zuffa, he has really, I mean, his career opportunities are narrow. And by saying, I mean, there's no way that Conor Benn is a $15 million fighter. But by saying, not only, here's Regis Prograis, that's not something that made me go, oh, that's worth $15 million of anybody's fucking money. It didn't make me do that. I also noted, it's not a main event, is it? So it'll be on the card, be on the Tyson Fury card, won't it? But it's not a main event. This makes me think, and I don't know, I'm no journalist, that's my own view, but it makes me think that Zuffa had just gone 15 million, off you go, Eddie. But Eddie Hearn has said he will outproduce Zuffa. And I've got a hot take on why that might be.
Well, I think that I've got some hot takes today too, because that's what we kind of do around here. But I think that, so first and foremost, let's not forget that Zuffa's not the one fronting the bill on this. This is all being paid out, right? So because a lot of like MMA fighters, a lot of UFC fighters, like, what do you mean this guy that I've never heard of is making 15 million? First of all, you have heard of him. Don't get it twisted. Second of all, it's not coming out because that would have caused a bigger issue. So I get all of that. I think the reason you weren't going to see that Ryan Garcia fight is pretty simple, though, Steve. I don't think Conor Benn's making weight. The reason that you're seeing Regis and him at 150 is because Conor Benn can't make 147. And which means if you can't make 147, you're not getting that title fight. And I think that's something that they realized after they made the deal. I think they made this sweetheart deal, which great, fantastic, go take care of your family. But I think that this was something that they realized in discovery afterwards. So they put this thing on the co-main event, but at the same time, this plays into a different narrative that I think Turki Al-Sheikh and Ring Magazine are about to do one of these, like, for lack of a better term, peacocking out, where they're going to be showing off a little bit right now because, and you know about this, so let me ask you about this one next. Word has come out, there's a couple of lawsuits happening against Turki Al-Sheikh, Ring Magazine, and a few others named in it. Frank Warren has a lawsuit out, and now your good friend, Don King, has also entered into the fray for this battle with Ring Magazine, which makes me believe, you know as well as I do, that the news of this kind of stuff comes out after the person already knows about it. So if I'm His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and I know about this and I know the news is going to come out about this, and I'm saying to myself, I've done more for boxing in the last 10 years than any of you have collectively, other than taking money from the fighters that you promote that I give to those fighters. And you want to come at me with these kind of lawsuits, knowing that your time is up, that you're just trying to get a payday before you go? Watch what I do to your rosters. Let's start with this one. Recent Conor Benn. Boom. What are you doing? You make weight? No? Screw it. We're going to sign you to it anyways. Because your $15 million is like the two of us going to Starbucks for this guy. This is what we have to remember with all of this right now. So I don't think that it's going to be it's a drop in the bucket. It's more of a statement, I think, from His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, Ring Magazine, and everybody else. And Zuffa just happens to be sitting alongside of it going, yeah, no, we're the lucky beneficiaries of all of this. His Excellency has done more for boxing than anybody in the past 10 years. And this is what he gets.
In recent times, absolutely. I'll just take you way back to your very good hot take on the Regis Prograis and Conor Benn making weight, because Regis Prograis himself has come out and said, we asked them 3 times. We asked them, I think he said, can we do it 145? No. Can we do it at 149? No.
Yes, because Regis he can't make those weights. He's small.
Yeah.
He's super small. He's not, he has a hard time. He's going to be sitting there eating fucking pies for the next 6 weeks, just trying to make 145. And now they're asking him to make 150.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, he said, I'm okay to do that, but of course he is, because it's a good offer, isn't it? Yes, I understand what you're saying with Turki Al-Sheikh and the money and all of that. And yes, I'm gonna queue up because I can. However, the narrative, and I appreciate what you say about Zuffa, but and we're immersed in this, so we kind of know that there is a paper wall between those organizations, but most people don't. And so when they say that's all coming from Zuffa Boxing, all that money, that's generally the narrative. So people don't say no. Well, I do, but people don't say no. It's coming from somewhere else. They think it's all coming from Zuffa Boxing. So that means that people say they're just buying everything up. That's the monopoly issue, isn't it? And the lawsuits are going to happen because people are angry. And why wouldn't you say this is my livelihood? And I don't want people stepping on get your tanks off my lawn.
What do you think happens after this lawsuit? What do you think happens for Frank Warren after this lawsuit? What do you think happens for Don King after this lawsuit? Do you think they're still going to be making a run at it? No, I think this is a grab, knowing that they're gone and they're about to lose their rosters, right?
I think that it's different for Don King because I think he is more high profile and less steeped in the grassroots of boxing.
Well, we know how this would have gone, 30 years ago. allegedly Don would have just allegedly done something where he allegedly, I don't know about allegedly or anything more allegedly than him possibly allegedly unaliving somebody allegedly.
I didn't hear any of that. I'm just going to continue with something else. Frank Warren, you little swine. Frank Warren is. I think Frank will go back to the small hall shows and say, I'm talking about something else, right? I'm just carrying on with something else. Okay. So he'll go back to the small hall shows because he can, because he's steeped in that boxing. So, this follows on from the conversation about there'll always be a live gate.
So wait a second. You're saying that Frank Warren is going to go back down to being on the equivalency of doing bar shows and Ben Shalom shows?
No, Ben Shalom has got a fantastic possibility here.
100%. I think you're seeing the switch. I think you're seeing the Ben coming up, and Frank, who's is not going anywhere, but I think he's gonna bounce. He's 180 years old already, as it is, Steve.
He's been doing this for some time, and he will. I think there'll be shows like York Hall, Bethnal Green, Copper Box, bigger shows. But they're the kind of shows I think he's looking at, and he will run those shows all day because he knows what he's doing. So he'll be fine. But I think he already prepared that way when he said the live gate will always be there. Ben Shalom is ready for the future, and he's got a lot coming up. Ben Shalom.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Well, listen, I'm interested in seeing how that one plays out. I don't know if you know this or not. This is one thing, another thing that's happening. It's always happening in the world of life.
Come to the children. Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children.
I'm just saying.